Here we go. Talk a little bit about the Colts, and we're going to talk a little bit about what is going on with their decisions and where the world we sit in the league as far as quarterback positions. Let's get to it.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind.
So, there's been a lot of other teams at pro days as far as to Bryce Young and CJ Stroud's CG's what am I thinking? CJ Stroud's uh, pro days, and there's been a lot of people interested, and there's been people taking CJ Stroud and Bryce Young to dinner. There's been videotaping uh, by Frank Wright and his team. The Colts did send some people out there to take a good look at the possible quarterbacks to fill the position we have open. But there's been nobody really, I don't think the Colts have been interested in because they haven't taken anybody out to dinner. They haven't done a whole lot of anything, been staying stagnant. Uh, and the only thing I could think of is they already got their decisions locked on one quarterback coming out of the draft, or they're not going to pull one. I can't figure out why we are not seeming aggressive at all. I thought for sure we would have a direction the Colts would be going in at this point in time. And yes, everybody's guessing and everybody's assuming we're going to be cool. But there's one of two quarterbacks we'd be pulling from, and we're guessing. That's the problem. There's been no deep insight of who the Colts really want. While they did send some people to the pro day, they did not seem too interested for interviews. We got one qualified candidate left. Question I have is if they don't take him to a dinner or personally interview him at the end of his pro day, are the Colts still interested in anybody at all? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure they're going to pull anybody. I hope they pull somebody from this draft. I mean, there's only, in my opinion, two good quarterbacks coming out of this draft. There are four candidates. I'm sorry, there are four candidates that everybody's been talking about. But CJ Stroud and Bryce Young are the only two that are, my opinion, are worth looking into. The Colts are not making waves. I think it's time we make waves. So, my insight, I don't believe we're going to be looking like any good team, and thus far we really don't. But we've not picked up anybody extremely good at all, minus a receiver in free agency. And I'm sorry, our kicker, which I don't believe we even needed. But if we did need him for guaranteed field goals, it makes me think that they're pointing in a different direction and that the quarterback they picked up is our quarterback. I have a funny feeling we are all going to be disappointed. So I don't know what next year's quarterback agency or draft is going to show us. I'm not for sure that there is a good quarterback coming out of the draft next year. Not as good as we're looking at this year, and this year's wasn't as good as we're looking at the year before that. I'm tired of mediocrity because that's what Chris Ballard's bringing. I've yet to see any kind of magic hat to be pulled out, anything out of. So I can't wait till this draft. But what are the Colts going to do? They don't seem to be interested. I'm just pointing out some things that I believe that we were sitting at, and my dogs are barking. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. A little bit of food for thought. The Colts, where they stand, quarterbacks, compared to everybody else in the NFL, dead last. Y'all have a good one. I'll catch you on the next one.
There's more from Lewis and Todd a little bit later on, so we'll get to that in a bit. But, you know, it was interesting because you just heard Todd there, Tim, mentioning the dinners and some of the conversations. That is really key right now as these teams are trying to get to know who they may be investing millions and millions of dollars in.
And dinners, not because he's just eating more consistently.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Dinners because they're trying to figure out, like, all right, hey, like, is this the type of guy that, like, I really believe in?
Right.
Because I think what both, you know, Lewis and Todd just said, when you look at the tape, look, the tape's impressive for both guys. And there are characteristics in terms of, you know, their quarterback play that you like about both guys. That's undeniable. On that, it's, all right, who do I want to be in a meeting room with all day long? Who do I think is going to, you know, kind of have this infectious attitude and optimism in my facility, with my team, in my city, if you're the Teppers? How that's more important than what this is probably, you know, a better part of in terms of the evaluation process for the Panthers.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all.